Is she about?
Somewhere, but not in here.
Then I'll be brief. I've just come from the public house on that side of the docks. It took a little doing and more than a little drinking, but I think I tracked down the ones that robbed Mrs. Breyer.
So it worked? They really thought you were one of them?
Must have done since they talked to me. Funny what gents will tell you when you buy a round for the whole place.
Oh, you can't go throwing so much money about it draws attention.
Oh, I know, but I told a story about getting one over on some financier toff at the racetrack, and that seemed to settle things. Well enough that some of the longshoremen got to talking about diverting cargo that came in on the Shalimar.
And did they mention anything about Mrs. Breyer's opals?
Not by name, but they're working for the same importer who's been trying to run her out of business. They're out of a place on Pier 14. Everything they handle goes through there.
Splendid. You are getting good at this.
Are you surprised? I have been practicing. What do you think?
I suppose it's better when you're not standing and speaking like you learned at Eton.
I'm a Harrow man, as a matter of fact. But I take the point.
Now, you best take it off before Madam sees and asks why.
I hate that we must do this. Can't we try once more to convince her?
You heard her, Nathaniel. She's not taking cases right now. She'd be furious to know we went behind her back for Mrs. Breyer and the others.
I don't know what she expected us to do. Just send those women away with no one to help them? It's wrong. And it's not like her.
Well, she's not been herself lately, not since... Well, since the whole business between Mrs. Frost and Madam Malaika.
I know. She's thought of nothing else since. And that's what worries me. Oh!
It's you.
Always a pleasure to see you too, Auntie.
What do you want? Why ever are you dressed like that? Have you come to sweep the chimneys?
As a matter of fact, I've been working at my disguises, and I wanted to know what you think. How's that?
I imagine it's more effective when you're not asking the cricket umpire for a ruling.
I also wanted to look in on you and see how you're doing.
Busy, as always.
Of course, but with what? Exactly.
Beg your pardon.
You have turned down a number of cases lately,
I've
madam.
been otherwise engaged.
Hunting Mrs. Frost.
What of it?
We only wondered when you would continue with your work.
I am working.
Oh, dear God.
See here, I've been tracing her operations. Observing the patterns, searching for points of weakness. She pervades this city like cancer, but with so many endeavors, she's bound to make a mistake we can exploit. Now I finally think that I've found one.
What is it?
A trafficking operation, smuggling in refugees from war-torn corners of the Empire. They promise them work, but sell them into practical slavery. They use regular routes and passages to bring the desperate souls through, except one group of them has gone missing.
Could they possibly have changed their patterns?
No, 20 or 30 people all disappeared without a trace. And her agents are losing their minds. No. Something has disrupted her operation, and that disruption means a way in. I intend to make use of it.
So, you intend to go on until you have destroyed it?
Until I have destroyed her.
Are you certain this is the correct course, madam?
Beg your pardon? She's the most dangerous person in the city.
You've thought of nothing else for months.
An empire does not crumble in a day.
No, it takes time and strife. We know how difficult this has been for you, madam. She was like your sister, she all but raised you. To have learned that she is your enemy, and it cannot have been easy to have lost her,
All
so
the more reason to give this everything that I have.
But it's begun to consume you.
Because that's what it takes! Now, are you finished? You sound finished. Then I'll be on my way. I have an investigation to make.
At least let us go with you.
No, the two of you have done quite enough today.
You know we only ever want to help you,
For
Auntie.
God's sake, go elsewhere for your praise and petting, Nathaniel. I haven't the time for this.
How is it that no one cuts me quite like her?
She turns at the drop of a hat these days. As if these years never changed her.
No, I won't believe that. Not after as far as we've come.
She's been in a terrible way ever since Lucinda Frost. You can't reason with her like this.
No, she was bloodied in round one, but she's not beaten yet. Not as long as she's still standing, and we're there to support her.
I don't even know where to begin. I don't know how to talk to her anymore.
In time, she will move past this. We'll do cases together again, and you won't have to hide Arthur from her anymore. Just think, you can finally bring your young man by for the family's inspection. Won't that be fun? You'll long for the days no one knew he was alive.
How is it that you never abandon hope?
I was brought up to never say die. Suppose I'd go to pieces otherwise.
Thank you, Nathaniel, for helping me to keep my chin up. Or rather, take it on the chin for rounds 2.
At your service. Until the bell rings.
Malaika?
Hello, you.
You're back in London.
I go where I'm needed.
Oh, of course. The refugees who were trafficked. The moment they disappeared from the captivity, I should have known it was you.
And you ought to know you cannot be here. Do you not understand? These people have fled war, disease, famine, all the violence of the colony. And now they flee from those who would use that desperation to make them slaves. It is up to me to see they are delivered, so leave me to it and we will have no quarrel.
Only I must tell you, the one you've crossed, it's Frost.
What?
The trafficker, the one who runs the ring, it's Elizabeth Frost.
No.
Can you get them away?
I shall have to.
What do you plan to do?
That is none of your affair.
She has eyes everywhere. She will hunt you.
You think I don't know that?
Then what will you do?
Whatever I can. Whatever I have to. The way I always do, without interference from you.
Dealing with Frost is different. Please, Malaika,
I have nothing for you, Victoria. Do not come looking to me.
You may be interested to hear that Madge says Reggie's learned the whole of Jabberwocky by heart. He means to recite it for you this evening, so you're in for a treat.
Clever lad.
Well, he still ate a button when Beatrice dared him, so we'll take the fair with the ill. Are you in the office this morning?
In an hour or so, to meet the South African returns. An old friend of my father's, some toff with a double-barreled name. Lord Cyril Deverill or something.
Oh, the same name in both barrels. I presume so he'll remember it.
Oh, don't you look nice today?
I look nice every day.
Well, yes, but especially nice this morning, I should think. What are you going into battle over?
Well, since you noticed, I've got a meeting with Dr. Terence Enfield of the Old Bridgewater Sanatorium.
Ah, arranging to have someone committed.
Don't tempt me, dear. No. The ladies at the club are planning their charity missions for the season, and we must discuss the fundraising gala for the hospital's new wing. You save the world in your ways, darling, and I'll save it in mine.
Well, good hunting. You certainly look fit to conquer.
I suppose I'll do. Unless someone has that new Astrakhan I've been eyeing for my birthday hidden away somewhere.
It's not your birthday for another 3 days. Alas, you shall have to suffer and greet the doctor in an old coat.
You won't dare tease me once I've got him eating out of my hand.
Then who will give you your birthday gift?
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Hawking.
Oh, hello.
Mary, it's you.
Matt showed me in, if you please.
Are you on a case this evening then?
Oh, yes, but late tonight. After dinner, and Reggie's poem?
Of course. Well, I'll be on my way then. Good luck, dear. Mary?
That was odd.
Is something amiss? She seemed put out with me somehow.
Can't see why she would be.
Perhaps it's nothing. No matter. I've got the opal spill of goods for Mrs. Breyer, so we'll know what to look for going in.
Now, the cargo's all down here, but these are small enough that they may keep them locked in the second floor offices.
Yes, so I'll go in, there. You will have to remain on the first floor since you've already been among the men in the crew.
Are you sure? I know you're not partial to second-story work.
With that lot downstairs? Nathaniel, you could wear your cricket whites and stand a better chance of fitting in than I ever could.
Suppose you're right. This feels strange, going in without her. I suppose it's only for a little while longer, though, until she's past this.
But when will that be? Seeing Madam Malaika the other day only seemed to make things worse.
It can't go on forever, Mary. And we'll hold things down until then. By Jove, Arthur?
Careful, sir.
What's going on? A stakeout?
Waiting and watching is all. And you?
The same. We're hunting some cargo. Does Mary know you're here?
As it happens, there's some things I can't tell her about. Now, we'd best be back at it before someone hears.
Of course. We'll speak later.
Evening, Mr. Hawking.
What's that?
Arthur? Whatever are you doing here?
Sometimes there's things I can't tell you. Never mind that now. It's Mr. Hawking.
What? What is he?
They got him.
Who got him?
One of the boss's lieutenants, I think. But the bloke knew him. Called him by name. Then knocked him senseless and dragged him out of here.
Oh, God. What are we to...
You!
What am I to...
You're not supposed...
What have you done?
Madam, how did you find us?
Mrs. Breyer came by to inquire after our progress into her case.
Oh, no. Madam, we only meant
Discuss
to...
it at home.
Yes.
Now, are you finished here?
Yes, but
Then find Nathaniel and let's go. It's safe to be here.
Well, that's just it, madam. Mr. Hawking. He's been taken. He's gone.
Taken? By whom?
One of the gang. I'll have a look. I'll see what I can find.
Madam,
Enough!
It's just...
What? Mary.
Clara will be expecting him at home.
Oh! What?
There he is.
What's... No. Oh, no.
I'm afraid so.
What is this? What have you done?
Forgive me the precautions, but given how Roland brought you, I thought it might be prudent. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Mrs. Elizabeth Frost.
No need. I remember you. Kingmaker.
I hoped you might. I am so sorry to trouble you, but I told Mrs. Hawking if she left me to my business, we would have no quarrel. My man Roland finding you tonight only confirmed she cannot be well enough alone.
Do you mean when he saw me? No. No, you don't understand. We weren't there on her orders.
Ah, dear boy, I have known her since she was a girl. There is no changing what has been in her nature from the very start. Go on. My goodness. It's like seeing a ghost. You could be Captain Hawking, fresh arrived in the colony again. Pardon. Colonel. He was Captain Hawking when I knew him.
You knew him?
Indeed, the man he was before she broke him. Well, it seems you've fared far better with her than your uncle ever did, and I am glad to meet the man that managed that.
Tell me, what use do you have for me?
Oh, I've done my research, young man. Mrs. Hawking herself is not about to be caught. And that girl has proved tough enough to have survived her. But you, my dear, are the weak link.
Are you so certain you know me?
Oh, Nathaniel, I know everything about you. You saw one Dr. Harlow for the mumps when you were 7 years old. A Miss Delia Bond was the first girl you ever kissed. I know every time you were caned by a schoolmaster at Harrow. More often than not, for crying. And we both know there are more souls at stake here than your own.
As you say, Madam and Mary can take care of themselves.
Well, yes, but they are not the only ones you've made vulnerable. There is, of course, your lady wife, Clara.
She is fiercer than any of them.
And what of your children? Your daughter, Beatrice? And your son? What else? Little Reggie. Are they fierce enough?
They're only babies. They can do nothing to you.
Never your first thought, are they? But no matter. You are going to tell me what she is planning, because I know that your aunt is up to something. And she will not rest until she's brought me to my knees, or else wrecked herself trying.
Well, if you really know me so well, then you know what you can do with that.
I am not your enemy, young man.
Indeed. Do you drug and bind all your guests to teeth? Do you menace their children?
Oh, as soon as you tell me what I need, you shall be on your way.
Even if I did, that wouldn't save you.
Do you think you can cow me, boy?
I'm not the one you should fear.
Well, her engines are driving for me then. Huh. Roland, dear, how many new men have you recruited to my service in, just the past month?
24 men, Mum.
I see. Tell me, how does that stack up against your notorious lone wolf mistress? Make your wager carefully, young man. You may bet your life on it.
Even you couldn't defeat her alone. What hope could you have against the both of them?
Both of them? Surely you don't mean... Malaika. Malaika Shah is in London. And she's joined forces with Mrs. Hawking. Oh, goodness me. That is interesting. You see, we are getting on already.
I won't tell any more. I won't talk.
Oh, dear boy. From everything I've heard, you shan't be able to help yourself.
I suppose I knew this day would come. Or something like it. Ever since he first told me of this enterprise of yours, I wondered when something would go wrong. How could you let this happen?
It had nothing to do with me. This is your business, not when they go behind my back.
What happened? Where is he?
I don't know yet.
You don't know?
How could I when they've told me nothing?
Madam, and Madam, I'm so sorry that...
Are you then, Mary? As sorry as you were in the years you helped them keep this whole affair from me?
Perhaps if they hadn't been sneaking about, I'd know what we were up against.
Perhaps if you hadn't been so unbearable lately, they wouldn't have had to sneak.
You don't know anything about it, Clara! For God's sake. Get it, Mary!
A letter, Madam. It's in your name.
My dear Victoria, I hope this letter finds you well, or at least better than when last I saw you. I wanted to let you know that I have had the most intriguing guest. I believe you know him. Well, he certainly wants to know you, though I am not entirely sure that he does. You have been... terribly interested in me as of late, but alas, I have been so dreadfully busy, I have not the time to entertain you. In light of this, I thought I might show this young man something of my hospitality. I do not know how long our visit will last. That shall be up to him. But rest assured, my dear, I will take good care of him until at last he returns. You may be disappointed that you and I shall not see more of each other, but I do hope you'll heed me in this, Victoria. Though, of course, I must remember that headstrong girl I brought up so many years ago. I always wondered if someday you might listen to what people have to say. But then again,
You always did love learning the hard way. Your loving sister-in-arms, Elizabeth, Danvers, Cameron, Coulter, Frost.
This is who has him, that Frost woman? The one that beat you? What are you going to do? Said or not said. That isn't good enough, madam. You are going to get him out of there, that is certain.
I mean, I don't know how to do it. Not yet.
Well, come up with something. That's what you do, isn't it? Come up with some clever scheme to defeat the enemy and save the day.
Is that what Nathaniel told you?
Of course it is. Don't you know how he speaks of you? He believes in you utterly. No matter what's happened, he still cannot believe you could lose.
This is different. This woman, this Frost. She's dangerous.
How can you leave him there?
Because I cannot afford to make a wrong move. She's expecting me. Nathaniel is the bait in her trap. And if I blunder in, all of us, will be lost. She knows me. She knows how I work, and she has always outmaneuvered me.
Then you must work differently. You must think of something new that she will not expect.
Easy thing to say when you've no idea what we're up against.
Then help me to understand. If there's anything I know, madam, it's that I see the world nothing like you. Perhaps there's something I can see that you can't.
She's untouchable. Rather than circumvent the structures of society, she bends them to her own advantage. And with so many layers between her operations and herself, her public persona remains unassailable. There she commands a battlefield upon which I've no soldiers.
Except her. You've come at your own way, madam, and she's always outmaneuvered you, but the other Mrs. Hawking, well, she walks in worlds you don't.
Yes. The same world as she does. Perhaps there's some way I can challenge her.
What could you do?
I don't know yet. But if she maintains that reputation, it means something to her.
She's right, madam.
She's got something to lose.
And if we come at her from that perspective, well, that she will not expect.
Do you think you could do it?
Madam, this is what I do.
If we are to succeed in this, Clara, you will have to trust me. Can you do that? For Nathaniel's sake.
There is nothing I cannot do for Nathaniel's sake.
Then, we need to do this? 3 of us?
No, not 3. I need 1 more.
Nathaniel told me once that you save people. I didn't want to believe him then. But God help you if you make a liar of him now.
You again!
I'm sorry, but I had no choice.
No choice but to go where you're not wanted.
Yes, because Frost is the force of no common rate.
I told you, I will manage this without your help.
I need yours.
To do what? To settle the score between you, the great hunter seeking her next trophy? I know what skin you have in that game.
Perhaps not. She's taken my nephew. For no greater crime than being mine.
That young man with you, the one who looks like the captain.
She knows I've been tracking her for the last 1.5 years, searching for some weak point to break her operation. And she took him to hold over me. Oh, that's nothing to you, but we have a common enemy and a common purpose.
Working with you nearly ruined me. After all that has happened, why would I ever join with you again? Why would I trust you again?
You worked with Frost when you needed to. If you've any loyalty to her, know that she's none to you.
Do you take me for a fool?
Never! You make your way in what manner you can, and Your skills are valuable. I can pay you for your labor as well as she can.
Cannot believe this is a matter of money.
It's a matter of necessity. How many refugees do you have in hiding now? How many people are relying on you? And if you cannot call off her forces, they will never escape.
I know!
Elizabeth Frost is a leviathan. A fathomless monster roiling beneath a silent sea. She has an ocean behind her and endless currents of influence at her fingertips. Hers is an empire that
I
drowns.
know this as well as you. Why do you tell me this?
Because I know I can't beat her on my own. Can you?
No.
I've looked into your work. All across the colonies, the injustices you've struck against, the people who you fed, comforted, set free. You're a force, madam, and... Well, you may doubt my motives, but never my skill. The two of us, together, may stand a chance.
I was taken in by those words once before.
We were friends once. Not had many friends in my life. You were the only one that was true.
Were we friends?
Is there nothing left of it? Are we two so unalike? We came to walk the same path. Oh, for God's sake, we were raised by the same woman.
You needn't remind me. I still see her in the way you braid your hair.
Heaven knows we have both suffered.
Perhaps. But whatever else befell you, you were still a hero's wife and a governor's daughter.
Would have given anything to have been neither.
I do not doubt it. But at least you knew you would never starve. You cannot make things right between us, Victoria.
I know it's too late for me. But it is not too late for everyone.
Well, you've said your piece. Now go home.
Thank you for coming, madam.
Yes, well, let's carry on with it.
Of course. It seems we have two objectives in this.
Three objectives.
Malaika, why are you in my house?
I looked into what you said. You were right, Frost's men are the ones hunting my charges. I cannot permit them to remain within her grasp, even if it means again dealing with you.
Thank you.
I do what I must for those I am responsible for. The choice was clear.
In that case, we have three objectives. Nathaniel's rescue from Mrs. Frost, safe passage for the refugees she's trafficked, and finally, dealing with the woman herself.
It's all the same problem. Put paid to Frost. That is the beginning and the end.
Not if we don't find where she's keeping Nathaniel.
I have considered that, Clara. Been at this some time longer than you. It all comes down to her. A lesser mind would not be able to manage so complex an operation beneath our notice. Take her out, all the rest of it comes crashing down.
The real question is how? What is your intention? To kill her?
I beg your pardon, madam?
She will not stop unless something stops her. We all know that.
Would you... Is that... Do you consider it?
Surely not.
One does what has to be done, miss.
And have you before?
This is not a game, Clara.
God. Did you know that?
No, I never did.
Oh, for heaven's sake, it's not been necessary in some time. How was it supposed to come up?
You must know, even if you wanted to, it won't work. She keeps her guards about her wherever she goes, day and night, at home and afar. Even if one of us could get close to her, they wouldn't come out alive.
We have had great success laying traps with the police. Frost has so many criminal endeavors. Surely one of them would be willing to betray her to them.
Do you think she has no officers in her pay? Even so, I have been digging about for months for something to hang her on. There's nothing. Nothing that can be traced back to her. Her layers and layers of proxy agents protect her.
Then, let's begin with those layers. What are they? How do they shield her that we might begin peeling them back?
There are more than we can count. Her operatives, her false fronts, even her thrice-stamped husband.
Her husband?
Mr. Dawson Frost. She keeps the man drugged on opium so she can act freely in his name.
See here. I intercepted this document sent his solicitor last week. It's a request to review his financial investments, signed as if in his hand.
Dawson Frost, you said? How odd.
It's a faked signature, Clara. That's the whole matter.
Not that. I sign for Nathaniel all the time. For God's sake, why take a man's name if you can't use it?
I presume you aren't running a criminal empire from behind it. What's your point?
That Dawson Frost has gone abroad recently to the continent. Before that thing was supposed to have been signed.
How do you know that?
Did you think I wouldn't do my research on this woman? I saw it in The Lady, which I'm sure you don't read.
But how even could that be? As far as I saw, the man was an invalid. He could not even leave his dressing room.
Why would she send him abroad if she had work for him to be carrying out here? Why risk drawing attention to her scheme?
We can't be certain until we know where he is.
And for that, we would have to search the house. She keeps the place like a fortress. You found that firsthand, I think?
What of you? You worked for her. Did you learn nothing that could be of any use?
I learned that one does not lightly cross Kingmaker, and I have too much at stake to make the wrong move.
We'll have to gather information somehow. Stake out the house, monitor Frost movements.
To what end? How does tracking down an opium addict get us any closer to Nathaniel?
Because we must discover Frost's doings, Clara! How else do you expect me to save him? Wait until he's talked her to death!
I have had quite enough of your sneering, madam, considering it's your fault he's in this mess.
My fault? They went behind my back. Do you have any idea how much trouble it would save me if I didn't always have to mind that boy?
Oh, for God's sake, he's not a boy! You were at his wedding, the births of his children! He's the one who manages your money. Why do you insist on calling him that?
Because it seems as if I'm always responsible for him as if he were! Otherwise he becomes his uncle, and I have had quite enough of that.
It always comes back to this. You know, there's one thing I'm glad of in all this. You may have placed him in terrible danger, but at least he's not here to see how little you regard him.
Well, are you quite pleased with yourself, Mary? You wanted to bring us together in this. Now you've done it.
I'm so sorry, madam.
You did not make her what she is.
You know, she cares a great deal for you. Even after everything that's happened, I've never seen her care for anyone as much as she does for you.
History is a rope. It ties us together, and it holds us down. You're her apprentice, are you not? Is this a path you intend to walk?
Yes, madam.
And you ought to know what awaits you should you pursue this path.
What do you mean?
It destroys us all in the end. Her anger, her hardness, it may have brought her to this life, but it only grows worse. The more battles you have to fight, the greater lengths it asks you to go.
She told me what happened between the two of you. But she was just a girl then, a lifetime has passed. And now she's a hero, she's my hero.
I remember what it was to be caught up in the force of her, so that you believed there was nothing she could not do.
Before I met her, I was nothing. A maid girl, all alone in the world, never so much as noticed except to stoke the fire or clear the trays. And then I met Madam, and she took me into her service, and my life began. I owe her everything.
Perhaps. But if you follow after her, you will go where she goes, and eventually you will walk that path alone.
No, it doesn't have to be.
This has been my burden for 27 years. I know whereof I speak.
So, you've traveled the world, you've seen so much, and you've always been alone? Surely in 27 years there must have been someone who stood by you.
Some have tried. Once there was one I thought I might keep. But he had his responsibilities that held him, and mine always carried me away.
But how do you bear it? Isn't it destroying you?
Even as we speak. But that's the truth of it.
But it doesn't have to be this way. Even Madam, she has a Nathaniel now and me, and it's done her good. It's changed her. I must believe that.
I hope you're right. For your sake, before she changes you.
Everything I am because of her. Without her, who would I be?
You would be Mary Stone. And who is that?
Having trouble? I suppose you do not often do that for yourself. You know, you are not the spitting image, whatever they say. He was broader in the shoulders, I think, deeper in the chest. A warhorse rather than a thoroughbred. But that face, it is just as anyone could remember it. Every lady in London must be giving you the glad eye.
I couldn't speak for that.
Still, you are certainly a lucky man. Looks, money, good name in the city, lovely wife, darling children. It is enough to make anyone wonder, why ever do you do this?
I told you, I'm not going to talk to you.
I would not advise that, given that I know where all your people live, and I find mine to be much more expendable. Roland, dear, what was the name of that new recruit who was so eager to prove himself with a rough job?
Joe Quinn, Mum.
Ah, yes. Joe Quinn. Thank you. I will be sure to let him know if our guest here becomes uncooperative, in case we need to send someone after the children. Now, to the point. Why all of these would-be heroics, scrambling after Mrs. Hawking as she leaps from roof to roof?
To help people. Do good in the world. Is that so difficult to believe?
Of course not. A young man such as yourself has always had a touch of the knight-errant. Look here. Your first military uniform. Oh, I do not know why I said first.
It happens that I wasn't cut out for it.
Whatever went wrong?
Why do you ask wherever you already know? They lashed me to a desk at the armory, and I thought if I was to do nothing but keep the books, I might as well do the ones at home.
We cannot all be heroes. There are not many men like your uncle. Still, it seems you're better at this than you ever were at soldiering.
Not good enough if he's here.
A fair point, but enough that Mrs. Hawking has kept him around.
No mean feat, if I dare say.
I'm sure. Now tell me, what does your wife think of this work at which you've been so very diligent?
She couldn't be prouder.
Really? Well, I suppose she could not be too cross. After all, we know what you do with anyone's disapproval.
What does that mean?
Oh, I understand if you're not used to it. From everything I gather, you've always rather been the golden boy. Until now, recently. Mrs. Hawking is quite hard on you, isn't she?
I don't do it for the praise.
Don't you?
I beg your pardon.
It's not that you do not mean well, but honestly, dear boy, there are ways to do good that do not risk your life and set you against the rest of your family. And for what? A moment's regard amidst the ire? Why do you need that so badly?
I wouldn't expect you to understand.
It is rather sad, if you ask me, hanging so much of yourself on someone else's word, particularly when it will not come to anything.
You don't know anything about it.
Indeed, when both you and I have both seen it happen before. You were quite close with your uncle, were you not? Must have been. You named your son in his honor. Shame he never got to meet his namesake. Little fellow came just a bit too late.
By a bare month. But he did get to hold my daughter in his arms. That meant a great deal to me.
He was a remarkable man. Handsome, capable, honorable. In a lifetime of dedicated service, he only made one mistake. Loving Victoria Stanton. And he paid for it for the rest of his life.
It was not so simple. She was hard done by her own life.
Oh, certainly. If by hard done you mean she was the daughter of a governor and loved by a worthy man. Jesus wept. If I'd had a fraction of the advantages you lot had, I'd be running the empire. But she had all of it and cared for none of it. Not even him. And that was when I knew.
Knew what?
What a monster she was.
Oh, spare me. He was not perfect either. I've made my peace with it.
She destroyed him, you know. Have you made your peace with that?
They made each other miserable. Anybody could see that.
I suppose it was no secret. Unlike other things about the Colonel.
What other things?
Oh, come now. Wasn't as if he talked about himself. Close as you were. Do not tell me you never wondered about the work for which he was commended by the Queen.
I know about the knighthood.
Oh, indeed. So you know what took him abroad so often after he and Mrs. Hawking returned to London?
Soldiering, of course. What else?
You do not know. Now, this was not easy to get a hold of, even for me. But it is worth it, if it strikes your fancy.
What the devil are you talking about?
Dear boy, do you not see? This is from the Queen's private archives. It is your uncle's record. Service and otherwise.
Why have you brought this to me?
Because I know how badly you want to know what's in it. You must have so many questions for the man who was almost a father to you. Questions you can never ask, and no one has an answer you can trust. Everything is right here. All of it. Right here.
I told you. I won't betray her, not even for that.
I understand, dear. You're not ready yet. But still, you might as well take something for your trouble. After all, you have already given me the means to break her.
What do you mean?
Why, Malaika Shah. You remember she once did a service for me. I reached out to her and made her an offer for her precious refugees. I told her I would let them go if she delivered Mrs. Hawking to me. So, I would not count on Auntie's mind being on a rescue. She is about to have far greater concerns than you.
Arthur, you'll have to be quick. Have you found anything?
No. No, I'm sorry, Mary, I haven't got anything. This Mrs. Frost, she's spotless. I've been through every record I could get me hands on. The only mention of her is as a client of some solicitor whose premises saw a break-in last week.
A break-in at his solicitors? Whatever for?
That's it. We don't know. We couldn't even find anything stolen. I'm so sorry, Mary.
You did your best, Arthur.
But it's worse even than that, I'm afraid. They've just handed down word. All officers to be on the lookout for a renegade in a black hood, armed with knives, who slips in through transoms to steal valuables and slit throats.
You mean...
Somebody set them chasing after your mistress. I don't think they know who she is, or that she's a she. But they know she's about, and they're looking for her.
Madam said Frost had a man at the yacht.
I could try to talk to my governor, see if he'll call off the hunt.
No, we can't risk calling you in as the cavalry this time. We'll have to finish this some other way.
Well, then I'll find some other way to help. I feel right rotten them taking Mr. Hawking right in front of me. I should have just blown my cover.
He was my responsibility. And I let him down. It's always been dangerous, but it's never been this close before. And Nathaniel, he's supposed to talk, not bite. I thought he was the safest of all of us. But now, he could die. All because I couldn't save him.
We can still find him, Mary. It's not too late. I'm inside her operation now. I've heard some things. Maybe something we can make use of.
No.
Well, I know you can't let me in on everything, but with Mr. Hawking's life
No,
on the line-
Arthur, don't you see I'm in trouble enough?
This ain't your fault.
I lied to my mistress, Arthur. The woman who taught me everything I know and trusts me with her secrets. With Nathaniel gone and Madam so angry, I feel so alone. And now, with you working as a spy in the gangs,
Oh, they told me not to tell anyone. I thought you'd understand.
It's not that, it's... What happened to Nathaniel, it could happen to you too, if she catches you working for us.
You're all of us taking risks, Mary.
That's so, but I can't lose anyone else.
Here now. No one's lost. Not Mr. Hawking, and not Mrs. Hawking to you. You've been through too much together. I'll do whatever I can to see you get through this as well.
How is it you can bear all this with me?
Because I love you. I haven't said, but I think I have for some time now. I know you've got a bloody lot on your mind, but I can't let you go on thinking you're alone in this. Not if I can stand by you.
It's alright. I love you, Arthur.
I'll keep my ears open. Whatever you need, I'll come running.
Thank you, Arthur. Madam, I thought you were out.
I was chased on my way out of the Port Authority by police officers, yelling about the black hood they'd been put on the hunt for. How long?
Madam,
There's the cases behind my back. Now you and that policeman. How long have you been lying to me?
Over a year. Madam, I'm so
How
sorry.
could you?
We only meant to spare you. You've not been yourself lately.
So you betray me instead? What does that policeman know? What have you told him?
Not much. Not everything.
Is this why you were so keen to have him on? So that you could carry on beneath my very nose?
I meant to tell you, madam. I swear,
I
only...
thought you understood what it meant to live this life, do this work.
And I told you I can't do it the way that
You
do.
can't do it at all if some man can decide it all for
He
you.
isn't like that. He's a good man.
And yet a man still. Why would you take that risk?
Because I care for him.
More than everything that we've done here.
You know how much this means to us and what you mean to me.
Then how could you lie?
Because of what you mean. Because to disappoint you in anything is worse than we can bear. It's why we keep your secrets and we hold your anger. It's why Nathaniel is in that woman's trap right now. Don't you see by now that we would do anything for you?
Anything. But what I need, I have heard that before.
Do you think we did all this to hurt you? What were we to say when those women came to us begging for help? Watch your hearts break on their faces as you turn them away.
You could have had faith in me. Faith that everything I did to a purpose and a great end!
Well, they had faith in you, madam! They had faith in you. We could not just say, I'm sorry, but Mrs. Hawking is not who you thought she was. We had to be sure they saw you for what you are.
And what is that?
A hero!
Well, madam, have you solved the case of the missing opium addict? Or do you perhaps intend to spare a thought to your nephew?
Storm McCruff. Clara, I had to shake off a police chase today, and if I must explain this to you one more time...
You'll what? Say something cutting so I work harder for your favor?
Making great progress here, I see.
Oh, tell me you've got something we can use!
Hardly. I staked out her estate in the hope that something had changed since we last saw. Security is tighter than ever. I watched them search through even an ice wagon on delivery. She's dug in and made ready for whatever we could throw at her.
Then what? Where does that leave things?
This was a vain enterprise from the start.
Then what would you have us do? Abandon it? If we do nothing, she wins.
If we make the wrong move, she wins. Do you not understand? I will not put my people at risk because you cannot bear to stand still.
Madams, enough! Now we must not lose sight of what is at stake here. None of us have been idle. There must be something we have found that we can use. Now, what have we learned since last we spoke?
Nothing. We have nothing.
That's not so, we just don't know it yet. You say you've done your research. Tell us what you've learned.
I looked into her social calendar. She's taken every invitation that's crossed her desk, luncheons, teas, parties, as if she means to keep herself in the public eye. She moves in very high society. I'm surprised I've never encountered her before.
Her name is Hawking. She'd have nothing to do with you. What is there in this?
Madam, please. Now, I've done my own looking into her gang work. On the contrary, it's all gone very quiet. Dug in, as Madam Malaika says. And I spoke to a contact of mine within the police, and he said that the only thing he was able to find was a break-in at her solicitor's in which nothing was taken.
That's all? That's all he had?
Not quite. It seems that Frost has made use of her inside men. She has them all chasing after the renegade in the Black Hood.
She means to keep me from operating. Blast her!
So, we will have to take even more care. Now, Madam Malaika, is there anything new you learned from the house?
As I said, the security is tighter than ever. When she left the grounds, half a dozen men left with her. Infiltration with her at home would be impossible. But even with her bodyguards away, it would be a nightmare.
She set the police against you too, I wonder?
Given her no reason to believe I'm working with you.
Now, the other Mrs. Hawking, what have you found?
I did as I said, and tried to track down the husband. All the travel arrangements were made. Tickets, manifests, berths on a ship across the channel. But even before the police chased me off. They found no record that the harbor authority had seen him through customs. So I can't prove if he was even on the ship. God knows where he is now.
Wait a moment. These parties Frost is attending, is she hosting any of them? Holding any at home?
What? No, she's out for all of them. Why do you ask?
Dawson Frost is neither at home nor abroad. He's dead.
What? Are you certain?
She kept the man drugged enough to level an ox. It was only a matter of time before it became too much. And the ice delivery. Too much if she has no plans to entertain. Finally, it's happened, and she has a body to hide.
Why ever is she keeping it?
Because she wasn't ready. Oh, she's hardly above disposing of her husband if it suits her, but this was a mistake. She wasn't ready to lose her figurehead.
And that's why she contacted her solicitor. She wanted to set his affairs in order before anyone knew he was gone.
Could that be what the break-in was all about? Something of Dawson's that she didn't want her solicitor to know about?
The man's will. She switched out his will to make changes without drawing attention.
So that when his body is shipped back from wherever he supposedly died, everything is already in her favor.
Why? That cunning harpy! Is this it? Is this how we get her?
On what? The man was an addict. An overdose would not look like murder.
Even if it was not intentional, she must still be responsible for his death, yes? Could we send the police after her for that?
What police? The one she's bribed into her service?
No. No! How can it be that this woman has hidden her husband's body in her cellar and we can do nothing about it? That's madness!
Oh God.
What? Madam?
I know what has to be done.
What? What?
It's a terrible thing.
A terrible thing. Madam, what are you talking?
Let her speak.
You look beautiful, madam. And formidable.
It's what I always aim for. But I'll confess, I don't feel it. How do you do this? Walk into these battles knowing everything relies on you.
Because there's nothing else for it. You never know what you can do until you must.
I'm so afraid of something like this. I don't know if he ever was. He was so sure about what he was doing, that it was the right thing to do.
He's very brave.
Perhaps so. But I don't know if he ever really believed he was in danger. He was too good at it. She was too good. And whatever happened, she would see that it all turned out in the end.
Madam, I'm sorry.
Oh, goodness.
I'm sorry I didn't protect him. We were meant to look out for one another, especially without Madam there to protect us.
Please don't do this, Mary.
It's only... Well, I know you've been cross with me for some time, madam. And it sounds as if you have been for a while.
Good heavens. Ridiculous, aren't I? Cross with my impossible auntie's maid for keeping her secrets. You're a good maid. What else could you do? But heaven helped me, I found I couldn't look you in the eye.
We should have told you. I thought it was for the best, but it seems I've made that mistake too many times.
I felt a fool. Wounded by the house girl for doing her job. But you're not only the maid, are you? You're Nathaniel's dear friend. I thought perhaps you and I could be friends as well, but when I first approached you to handle Auntie for me, so perhaps I deserve what I get. Heaven knows you were lying for Nathaniel too.
Are you angry with him?
He broke his promise. He said he'd always come home. To me, to his daughter and son, why shouldn't I be angry?
Because he wants to do good, madam. We all do.
I know. Which is why I'm not angry. I'm frightened. I'm so desperately sad. What do you think they're doing to him?
Don't. You mustn't think on it, or you will never be able to act to save him. We can't do this without you.
So much rests upon this. Nathaniel's very life, what if I fail?
I thought the same thing too when I first began. But if no one does anything, nothing can be done. As I said, you never know what you can do until you must. And after all, you stare down Mrs. Hawking without batting an eye. You are the bravest soul I know.
There she is. Come now, Mary. It's time.
I'll be waiting outside. It's a beautiful coat, madam.
It's my birthday present. Good afternoon, Mrs. Frost, isn't it?
Yes, and who might you be?
I've heard so much about you, madam. Your standing, your work in this city. I wanted to meet you in person.
Oh, how very flattering, Mrs. What did you say your name was?
I didn't. But it's Hawking. Mrs. Nathaniel Hawking, as a matter of fact.
I see. I am acquainted with your husband's family.
Oh, we know you. And because of that, madam, I simply had to tell you myself
Tell me what?
that we are coming for you.
Oh, my goodness, madam.
Your reputation indeed precedes you. You are a formidable woman with all your powers and all your engines, cloaked in all the gentility of a true lady, but you're not, are you?
I beg your pardon?
I know your type. The pretension is chiseled on you. Weren't you a colonial governess whose father was a ship's cook? What would you have done without marriages to rich old tradesmen to bring you out of the backwater?
My goodness. You have done your research.
Oh, most certainly. But I need no dossier to know a bitter up-jump scold when I see one. Tell me, at your age, has all this scheming left you as tired as you look?
I would have a care for the price of my words if they came out of my husband's hide.
You'd do better to think of your own. Auntie dear will be taking her swing at you to the ball on Saturday, but looking you in the eye now is enough to leave me certain. You're already finished.
I see. Well, if you know my ways, my works, everything I've done, what makes you think that this occasion will be any different from all the others who've tried me?
Because this time you've crossed me, and I will see you answer for it.
This has been exceedingly pleasant, but I'm afraid I must be on my way. Good day, Clara.
Mrs. Hawking. I am Mrs. Hawking. Oh, Dr. Enfield.
There you are, my dear. I simply had to tell you things are going splendidly. We've raised nearly half again the amount of money already. And it's all thanks to the benefactors you charmed.
I'm so pleased to hear it.
You are indeed a wonder, Mrs. Hawking. Only, forgive me, something seems amiss on your face just now.
Oh, my. Is it so plain?
To me it is, my dear. Is something troubling you?
I must confess, sir, there is, and I don't at all know where to turn.
Fear not. If there's anything I can do to ease your mind, it would be my honor.
Oh, Doctor, that would be very kind, though I must warn you, it may be quite serious.
Tell me everything, madam. You need bear this alone no longer.
You certain you have everything you need?
It's all here. I've got the needles for the guards and the powders for the servants' hall. I know the house, and I've broken into places like that before.
You said it was suicide to try to breach that house. And who knows what state the body will be in. How will you get it up the stairs?
There's a dumbwaiter, a very large one, and by now there will not be much of him left to move.
Here. Allow me.
Tighter, please, to keep the wrist stable.
What happened?
An old wound by now, but there was no one to set it then, so it never properly healed.
You should not be going in alone.
There is no one else. And I can operate alone just as well as you can.
Of course. You are a remarkable operative. Head and shoulders above any other I've seen. The two of us together would be unstoppable.
I have heard those words before. After all this has happened, how can I even bear to hear them? It took me years to forget about you. And I hated myself for how much I missed you. Did you ever know what you did to me?
I know that I failed you.
More even than that. I was so lonely when we met. And so weary. I didn't even know until you gave me a drop of hope. I had nothing and no one but you. And then you were gone. And who else could I turn to? Little more than a criminal and a danger to anyone who knew me.
I've never regretted anything more. But we are not girls we used to be, Malaika. And you have spent enough time carrying all of your burdens alone.
I thought there was no other way. That bonds would weigh me down, place those that mattered to me in danger. But even you have your girl, your nephew. I don't know if I can bear it any longer.
You needn't. Not if you don't want to.
It can't be you, Victoria. Too much has happened for us to go back. I know what there is between us. No matter how hard I try to forget, we are sisters, Victoria. In girlhood, in arms, as the other child of my mother. But we can never be friends again. Now, we have work to do, both of us.
You mean my holding and waiting, doing nothing whilst the rest of you operate?
There will be eyes on you. You must make certain they see nothing. Besides, your time will come soon enough.
Could finish it myself, you know. I'll be close enough, closer than her guards.
No, you'd finish yourself off as well. You'd never get away clean.
It may be worth it if it works.
You'd rather die than trust the rest of us? No. This time you'll play the part you're given. Are you ready?
As best I can be. It's not a sure thing.
No, I don't mean, is it possible? I mean, can you do it?
As you said, there's no one else.
Still, I don't envy you. I am not the only sister you've lost.
Godspeed, Malaika.
Beware the Jabberwock, my son. The jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jub-Jub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand. Long time the manxome foe he
Well,
sought.
Mr. Hawking, I'm afraid I have come to the end of my patience. You have your wife to thank for that. I had the pleasure of making her acquaintance the other day.
Indeed. And have the cuts stopped bleeding yet?
She had some rather imprudent things to say to me, given the vulnerability of your position.
My Clara? By Jove. Auntie's brought her on. I told you my girl was fiercer than a lot of them. And I dare say she's gotten to you.
Victoria Hawking does not go to balls, nor does she permit wagging tongues unless it were all to an end. So, will you tell me what you know, in exchange for safe passage out of here with the Colonel's service records underneath your arm? Or will you tell Roland, after he has persuaded you in his own fashion? I suggest you choose carefully, my boy, as I am the only one who can save you now.
Why should I? When you won't be able to save yourself.
That is why. And you will only have your answers if I have mine. Can you live with never knowing, now that you know?
He's been gone 7 years. Can't hurt her anymore. And he can do no more for me. I must live with that now.
Do you really mean to lay it all down?
I believe in her.
Ugh, do you know, Nathaniel, that you never look more like your uncle than when you proclaim your faith in her? Tell me, in all this time you have labored for her favor, which has mattered to her more? The fierce pursuit of the work she has dedicated her life to? Or the people whose path she crosses along the way? Look at me, boy! I will tell you what I once tried to tell him. She does not love you. And she cannot. Not the boy who followed her rapist around like a puppy, looking more and more like him every day.
What? He never...
They were wed for 20 years against her will. What would you call it? You want her to love you? How can she bear to look at you?
I know what you're doing. But it won't work. Because she will beat you in the end, whether I break here or not. And I know where I intend to be when she does.
Very well.
Ah, here we are again.
Do not mistake what is about to happen here, young man. You are very quickly reaching the end of this line. And your hero aunt is not coming to save you.
Well, you've got that right. Because not me she's after.
Oh, for pity's sake, Roland.
You know how this is gonna go, Mr. Hawking, unless you talk.
Well, that I can do. You know, you were right when you said she never could leave well enough alone. But you think you still know her. And you don't. Not if you can't see what's happening here. If you think you've beaten her back, you've only made her fiercer. And if you think you've won, she is coming for you.
Is that why she sent your wife to fight her battles with sharp words?
Because people who aren't tied to chairs listen when a lady talks. Ah!
Are you not afraid, boy?
I am afraid of all sorts of things. I'm afraid I'm too much like my uncle and not enough. I'm afraid my wife still thinks about my brother, that my children won't like me when they're older. I'm afraid I'm going to fail here. I'm afraid I'm going to die here, that I am pouring out every bit of myself for someone who will never find it enough. And I'm afraid that I will never, ever learn when to stop talking. But blast it all, you threaten my family. I will not stand by and clear your way.
You cannot save them when you are dead!
Then the best chance they'll have is Victoria Hawking. Damned if I'll do anything to stand in the way of that.
Remarkable. Yet another man who loves her so much, he will ruin himself for it. Roland, I think I shall be calling upon your man. Joseph Quinn, was it? I think it is high time to send him to visit Mr. Hawking's children. In the meanwhile, put him through his paces. Perhaps he'll see reason then. And you were such a handsome boy, too. What a waste.
Well, just you and me again, old boy. What would you like? The cricket skulls? Ah! Oh! You're a rugger man, then. Oh, or racing. Do you follow horseflesh? Ah! Literature, then. My daughter's halfway through Wuthering Heights, and she has ever so many opinions on that bloody Heathcliff.
I know you're trying to be clever, But there's just one way to stop this, Gov.
Oh, don't blame me. I thought Catherine was much better off with Edgar. But then I'm always soft on the nice chaps.
Right then. Your funeral.
Best be ready for it then. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be...
I can keep this up for far longer than you. One more.
1, 2. 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker snack. He left it. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to mine arms, my being.
No! What? No! No! No!
Nathaniel? Oh, Nathaniel, good heavens, what's been done to you?
Mary? Oh, my girl, how did you find me?
Clara stared her down to make us skittish. When she came to you, we followed. But it's all right now, we'll see you out of here. Arthur!
I've called the gods off, Mary. The way's clear. Mr. Hawking, are you all right? And what's all this?
Nothing, it's... Nothing. But never mind, it's Frost. She's got a man, Joe Quinn. She's sending him after the children.
With Joe Quinn, you say? But you're in luck, mate.
Oh, do you know him?
Know him? You're looking at him.
You mean it's you?
That was the name I gave him when I went undercover in the gang. Making the Irish mother proud. I tell you, I've never been so glad to be the man to knock off a few little nippers.
And I've never been so glad to meet him. Oh, thank God.
It'll be all right, Nathaniel, we promise. But for now, we need you.
What?
Dogs, you've been so brave. But we need you to be brave for just a while longer.
Hello, darling.
Elizabeth.
Were you expecting me? Oh, I must say, I was intrigued to hear that you would be attending tonight. But if you've come looking for your boy, oh, I'm afraid you'll have no luck here.
I am not here for him. I've come for you.
Well, I cannot say I'm surprised, but dear Nathaniel may still be expecting a rescue. Poor lamb. Do you know that in the right light, he could be your husband? In the right light, he could be your son.
Still, he's mine, and I would not leave him.
And yet, you are here, skulking about me, grinding your teeth that there is nothing you can do. Even having joined forces with Malaika, the Nighthawk, and the avenging angel. Oh, it is a clever idea, but are you certain you can trust her to help you, when she wants nothing more than a pound of your flesh? Oh, did you think I did not know? If you think I've made no use of your nephew, you are very much mistaken.
Then you know I've not been idle.
Of course you have not. Not for the past year and a half. And yet, you have nothing. For all your work, you are still as powerless as when I saw you last as a girl, trembling in nameless dread on your wedding night. Why do you not just give it up and move on?
No, I can't do that.
Of course not. Fate falls hard upon a hero's shoulders. Small wonder you're always raging. At your father, at your husband, and me. But you ought to be grateful. We made you what you are.
Yes, you did. And so you should know, I will not stop. Not until I've destroyed you.
Oh, my dear. If you are clever enough to bring destruction on me, rest assured, I shall do as much for you. And I think I shall begin by sending your nephew back to you. Piece by piece by piece.
Mrs. Frost!
Dr. Enfield, is it? How may I help you?
On the contrary, madam, I've come to help you.
Doctor, thank heaven you're here.
Some concerned souls have spoken to me of some very grave troubles you've had of late. Grave enough that I felt it was my duty to investigate. I confess, I was very disturbed by what was discovered.
Doctor, you sound quite serious. Whatever could be the problem?
Madam, we found him.
Found who?
Your husband.
My husband? Sir, Mr. Frost has been taken abroad.
Madam, we've been in his dressing room.
I beg your pardon.
We understand, madam, the grief. It must have been mountainous. Far too much for a lady's such delicate sensibilities to bear. It's only natural you should break under the weight.
What?
It must have been of some comfort, seeing him, if safely seated in his armchair. It allowed you to spare yourself the terrible truth.
No.
But I'm afraid, madam, there are some truths from which we cannot turn.
No, Doctor, whatever. You. What did you do?
Elizabeth, you're not well.
I do not know what game you are playing at, but if you ever wish to see your
What
boy whole
ho,
again...
ladies? Enjoying the night?
Mr. Hawking, is it? I've recently become acquainted with your charming wife.
Indeed. How lucky for you.
And I'm only grateful she spoke up when she did. My good man, please come in.
Doctor, I'm afraid whatever you found, it is not precisely what is this?
Mrs. Frost, it's time you come with us. Please show the lady out, sir.
No, get your hands off of me. You. This is your doing.
You must let them help you, Elizabeth.
How could you?
Would to God that it were otherwise.
You think that you are some kind of hero? You are as twisted as me if you engineered this. Do you know what she is? She is the one in the master police are after. She is the mad woman running along rooftops and cutting up men from behind. Do you think that this will hold me? I am Kingmaker and I will rain down hell upon you. Do you hear me, Victoria Hawking? I know who you are!
My God. Her condition is even graver than I thought. I'm terribly sorry you had to witness this unpleasantness.
It was a very long time in coming.
Well, madam,
It's done.
I don't believe it. I don't know if I even thought it possible.
That's just the trouble. For the likes of her and me, it's all too possible. But it's where she belongs.
Is it?
At least no more than she deserves.
I suppose so. Still, I feel sick over it. She was like your sister.
Hardly the only monster in my family. Where's Malaika? Has she arrived?
She's not here. I don't think she came.
I saw them take that witch. God blast her. Is he here? Is he alright?
Oh God, it's you! I thought I'd never see you again.
Darling, what's happened to you?
Clara, I'm sorry. I wasn't clever enough. I walked into the trap.
Please, love, no. It's alright.
I'm so sorry. I made you a promise. And I failed. But I held out. As long as I could, I held out.
Gosh, love, you did well. And it's done now, Nathaniel. It's done.
They told me what you did, you know. How you took her on. How you got her.
It was all of us. Mary, Madam Malaika, Auntie, and me.
They couldn't have done it without you. Darling, you saved me.
Did you expect any less?
Not for a moment. Only, I'm so sorry to put you through this.
No fear, love. We all kept our promises. All of us.
I say, is this your Astrakhan come in?
Oh, yes. I thought it would put the fear of God into her.
Clara's gone to telephone for the arrangements. She'll be back with the carriage soon.
I think she wants to take me straight to a doctor, but I just want to go home and hold my children.
You just rest now. We'll see to it all.
Malaika, I thought you'd gone.
I had to see if it was done. You looked her in the eye and did not break? You are cold.
Cold as I must be. And you? I must ask, did you not consider taking Frost's offer? Even for a moment?
I did consider. But even if she had granted passage to those 30 charges, there would always be more that came after. It had to end there.
Thank you for the work you've done here. I know it meant a great deal for you to bear.
We take on the burden so that others will not have to. I know it well.
Do you know what you will do now?
My charges can move safely from hiding now, but I have work everywhere. I will continue to do it so long as there is breath in me to do so. But I have some changes to make. I have gone on so long alone. I shall have to imagine a different kind of life.
I will not seek you out. I will not trouble you again.
Thank you. But no, I will not forget what has happened here.
Nor I. As long as I live.
Then until we meet again, before God.
Bearing up then?
Just barely.
Good man. Mary tells me you conspired in her little secret with a policeman.
Yes. I did.
Traitor.
I am yours forever, with every beat and breath.
Did you really never doubt me?
Not for a moment. And did you doubt me?
For a long time I wondered what would become of you if you followed me in this. And I see it now. You became a warrior after all.
Thank you for coming for me.
Oh, mine. This will not happen again.
So that's what it took. Some brute beating the stuffing out of me. Had I known, I'd done it years ago.
Are you in a lot of pain?
Still be bawling like a baby if I wasn't so damn tired. Oh, bless you.
That was very brave, you know, holding out the way you did.
It was a very near thing, Mary. I was sure I'd break in the end.
But you didn't, Nathaniel. You held out as long as you had to. Long enough to finish it, and that's enough.
Madam did defrost. Putting her away like
I
that.
could think of no other way. It had to be done.
And I'm grateful, but still, the whole business gives me a chill.
She's a hero, not a saint.
You're my hero, Mary. I wouldn't have made it without you. Do you think perhaps this might set things right? For all of us?
It's more than what Frost has done. We lied to her for over a year, Nathaniel, and not just about the cases. I lied to hide Arthur from her, and you did on my behalf.
With all that's happened, she must
The
understand.
damage has been done. How bad it is, well, that I can't say.
Well, whatever it is, it can be repaired. It has to be.
I hope so.
For now, sit with me. And let's finish this brandy.
You. Now then, shall we talk?